just come across this movie, No Way Out. It was released in 1950, directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, and he's got a string of direction and production credits, over 20 movies. This movie particularly attracted me because it's a very early film featuring a very young Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier, he's a doctor, Dr. Luther Brooks, and he's basically working at the prison hospital, certainly a hospital used by the FBI, and he's been given an opportunity by Dr. Daniel Wharton, played by Stephen McAnally, a highly respected chief medical officer at this county hospital. After a shootout, which we don't see, the police bring in two brothers, Ray and his brother Johnny Biddle. Ray is played by Richard Widmark, and whilst they are in the room, sort of reception room for those with injuries, Widmark's character Ray has a bullet wound to the leg, but his brother seems to be unconscious, and although it was suggested that it was possibly a leg wound similar, this is not the case, and he seems to have lost consciousness, and in an attempt to sort of try and reduce the swelling to the brain, which Brooks suspects could be the problem given his comatose state. Unfortunately, Johnny dies, and this provokes an immediate attack by his brother, who's very racist, provoking the attack that the doctor has killed him. And it's a compelling drama tackling race relations, and the doctor is accused of murder. What begins in the confines of the hospital soon spills out into the town. There's some deep racial prejudices at the time, in reality, of course, in the United States, and this particular movie really tackled this head on. Poitier's superb in the movie, and he suffers with a lack of self-confidence, but a determination to do right. An impressive drama which encapsulates a deep period in American history, and I'll now continue to make observations on scenes. Okay, this is a review by Dennis Schwartz. I read his reviews quite regularly. So No Way Out 1950 actually was the debut performance by Sidney Poitier, and there will be a slide with the cast and details, etc. Basically, the writing for this was by Mankiewicz and Lesser Samuels, and they based the narrative on his son-in-law, who was a doctor. His son-in-law's experiences observing black doctors. This is so-called progressive drama about racism. Okay, Luther Brooks, played by Poitier, is an intern in a municipal hospital, and he's been assigned to the prison ward. It's not not just a prison hospital, but just a ward attached. these two brothers, Ray and Johnny Biddle, are wounded in a foiled gas station robbery. Well, that's the belief anyway. And under Brooks's supervision, Johnny dies, and Ray accuses him of killing him. Ray refuses an autopsy to clear matters, and thereby the investigation as to the cause of death is halted. Tensions build then between the races in the community, and the community is subject to attacks by black groups on whites, and attacks by whites on so-called nigger town. The whites area is Brever Canal. Brooks gets quite heroic, and eventually to get an autopsy he says that he actually killed the patient, although clearly he didn't. This is to provoke the investigation to find out the cause of death, because it appears that he's died as a result of brain hemorrhage, probably fluid, spinal fluid going to the brain or something like that. I'm not sure of the technicalities, but certainly that would appear to be the cause of death. So did he have a pre-existing condition, or was he shot more in a different part of his body, or did the shooting to the leg provoke sufficient sort of reaction that provoked this problem in his brain? The socially conscious film caused a stir very much in the 1950 in America, as this had not been seen in films, despite being so hokey and anti-literate. At least presented racism in stark, frank terms for a rare time on the big screen, and brought black actors into starring roles where they weren't stereotyped. Great performances by McNally as Dr. Brooks is the chief medical resident. He's very supportive of Brooks, and we also have Linda Darnell as the conflicted divorced wife of the deceased Johnny, and Ray's girlfriend, who can't really deal with his bigotry anymore, and Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee play Brooks's parents. The issue of the autopsy then becomes prominent and to the forefront in this movie. The situation is that the next of kin, which is the brother, the racist brother, is required to give permission for that. Now, to override that, the doctor who made the initial assessment as to the cause of death and the superiors would need to support their member of staff. However, the top dog, who's very much caught up in the politics of funding for healthcare vis-a-vis profiteering, etc., suggests that he wants to wipe his hands clean of the matter, and so therefore refuses to go along with the request by the doctor to have an autopsy. And so Brooks is caught in this double bind now. He needs an autopsy to effectively clear his name, even though he hasn't been charged with any offence. But his political hierarchy seem unwilling to support that. And then we've got the highly charged situation within the city, between the white part of town and the black part of town. Racism was rife still in the early 60s in America, and this movie illustrates powerfully that America had a lot to answer for with regard to race relations. This incident at the hospital provokes racial tensions. We see a bloody sort of conflict between two violent groups, white and black. We then follow the story where Brooks turned himself in, confessing to the murder of Biddle. What then follows is that the coroner is forced to ask for an autopsy, and the autopsy clears Brooks, of course. But the film doesn't end there. We then move on to a sort of an escape scene by Widmark's character. There's also a good role by Johnny Biddle's ex-wife, who clearly has been subjected to so much racist thinking from the Biddle family that she is at best sort of devoid of that sort of thinking, and wants to actually show more awareness, well, show more understanding of the African American, and the movie once again enhances how brilliant Poitier was. A good movie to add to the collection of 50s 5-star movies. To wrap things up, there's quite a climax to the movie. I was particularly impressed with Richard Widmark's performance towards the end. Very emotionally powerful and dramatic. Overall, a pretty good movie for 1950. A bit dated, but if you're looking to see how the genius of Poitier emerged onto the silver screen, this is a good place to start. No Way Out, 1950, directed by Joseph L. Malkovich.